What if the most horrifying prison is not chains, not walls, not even death, but certainty? A reality where every choice you make has already been made. A future that does not wait for you, but remembers you before you exist. Eren Yeager stands at the center of this paradox. A boy who dreamed of freedom, but inherited a world where freedom itself is mathematically impossible. And the terrifying truth is this: Eren does not become a villain. He becomes the logical conclusion of a broken theology of freedom. A man who sees the end of his own story and still walks toward it, not because he wants to, but because he cannot deviate from the shape of his own existence. So the question is not, why did Eren destroy the world? The real question is deeper. Who wrote Eren's will? Part 1. Paradis, the metaphysical lie of Eden. Paradis is not just a setting. It is a constructed theology, a manufactured Eden. 3 walls, Maria, Rose, Sheena, do not simply protect humanity. They redefine reality. Inside them, humanity lives in what can only be described as controlled ignorance masquerading as peace. A society where truth is not missing. It is forbidden. This is where the biblical parallel becomes precise. Eden was not just a garden. It was a space of restricted knowledge. And Paradis mirrors this structure almost perfectly. The king of the walls functions like a theological sovereign, not preserving life, but preserving oblivion. Because knowledge here is not enlightenment. It is exile. So when Eren discovers the outside world through Armin's book, that moment is not curiosity. It is the first rupture in a sealed metaphysical system. The Titans then become more than monsters. They become the guardians of the boundary between ignorance and truth. And when the walls fall, it is not just a military breach. It is the collapse of a cosmic illusion. Part 2. Eren is Milton's rebellion against order. Eren's psychology cannot be understood through morality alone. It must be understood through rebellion metaphysics. Like Milton's Satan in Paradise Lost, Eren begins with a legitimate moral wound. Injustice, oppression, violence. But tragedy begins when justice transforms into absolutism. Eren does not say, "I want freedom." He says something far more dangerous. "I will accept no structure that limits freedom." This is where philosophy breaks into theology. Because absolute freedom is not human liberation. It is metaphysical hostility toward limitation itself. This is the non-serviam archetype, not just refusal to serve authority, but refusal to accept any ordered reality, even fate, even consequence, even time. But the contradiction emerges immediately. Eren's ability, the attack titan, shows him fragments of the future, which means his rebellion is not happening in ignorance, but inside awareness of inevitability. So his will becomes paradoxical. He rebels while knowing rebellion is already part of the system. He resists a future that includes his resistance. At that moment, freedom stops being philosophical. It becomes tragic irony. Part 3. The Paths. Time is a closed divine circuit. The paths are where attack on Titan stops being political fiction and becomes metaphysical horror. Because here, time is not linear. It is simultaneous. All Eldians are connected through a singular dimension where past, present, and future exist as one unified structure. Now translate this into philosophy. If the future already exists, then choice becomes recognition, not creation. Eren does not decide events. He discovers himself performing them. This aligns disturbingly with Calvinist determinism. Sovereignty of the structure, paths. Total depravity, cycle of violence. Irresistible direction, attack Titan drive. Predestined outcome, rumbling. But attack on Titan pushes it further than Calvin. Because even awareness of fate does not grant escape. Eren sees the future and still becomes it, which means his consciousness is not outside the system. It is contained within the system describing itself. He is not the author. He is not even the reader. He is the sentence being read aloud by reality. Part 4. The Symbolic Fall of Wings. The wings of freedom begin as aspiration, a symbol of transcendence. But symbols in AOD do not remain pure. They degrade under reality. The wings become stained, then torn, then meaningless, because every attempt to rise above oppression produces a higher form of violence. Eren's final Titan form is not simply monstrous. It is symbolic collapse, a being that has reached total power, but lost all form of humanity in the process. The angel does not fall because it is punished. It falls because elevation itself becomes unsustainable. This is the inversion of divine ascent. Instead of becoming God through purity, Eren becomes God through erasure. Part 5. The Rumbling. Apocalypse as ethical failure. The rumbling is often misunderstood as rage, but philosophically, it is colder than rage. It is solutionism taken to its absolute endpoint. Eren observes a world defined by cyclical hatred, inherited violence, structural inevitability, and concludes, if the system cannot produce peace, remove the system. But here is the hidden flaw. He does not remove violence. He relocates it. He does not end the cycle. He compresses it into a single catastrophic act. This is where Eren becomes a theological inversion, a Christ figure without redemption, a flood without covenant, a judgment without restoration. He saves his people by condemning the concept of coexistence itself. And this creates the deepest contradiction. The world after the rumbling is not free. It is empty enough to restart the same cycle. Part 6. The Final Paradox. The Slave to Freedom. Eren's final identity is not villainy. It is not heroism. It is not even tragedy in the normal sense. It is metaphysical contradiction embodied. He is a god who cannot alter his script, a liberator who cannot escape determinism, a child who experiences all time at once, a hunter being guided toward his own kill. Freedom, in his world, is not absence of control. It is obedience to a deeper structure one cannot perceive fully. So the final truth is brutal. Eren is not trapped by enemies. He is trapped by coherence. His actions must make sense within the system of time he inhabits. Even rebellion must be consistent. Even destruction must be meaningful. Even genocide becomes structurally necessary. This is why his story is not about morality. It is about ontological imprisonment. Conclusion: the silence after God breaks. When Eren dies, nothing truly ends, because the system that produced him still exists. Hatred, memory, inheritance, fear. What ends is illusion, the belief that a single will can escape structure. Eren Yeager becomes the ultimate fallen icon, not because he chose evil, but because he discovered that choice itself was already inside the architecture of existence. And so the final image is not triumph, not punishment, but silence. A world standing in the aftermath of its own logic, and a boy who wanted to see beyond the walls, only to realize the walls were inside time itself. If you want to see another deep breakdown like this, subscribe to the channel as more deep videos like this are on the way. Like, share, and keep supporting.